Hi, everybody. I'm CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana. That's the view out the window here. And yeah, across the Red River on the other side of the downtown there, Bossier City, Louisiana. Please do come check us out. Um, okay, so what I want to do is I want to talk about my table. So it's actually two farmhouse style tables, end to end, and then, of course, so a few weeks ago, actually around my dad's birthday, we're having, uh, no. Yeah, I don't know, whatever it was. I don't think my dad's birthday. I think shortly after my dad's birthday, a few weeks ago anyway, we, uh, we're doing some shopping and my sister helped me pick out the tablecloth. So, uh, yeah, that was nice that she was able to do that. So I was like stuck on what to do. So that was kind of cool. But and then I got home, and then I did just the basic white dishes to kind of go with the tablecloth. I thought would be good. So I had these two plates that I've had for a while. I've shown pictures of them and everything. Just random plateware. I think it's really good for like an eclectic sense and everything. And then of course it's I would say it's because of the Halloween season, but that little Hellraiser box, the Lamont configuration, that's here. Like ever since I bought it, it's like it's in the living room somewhere. Uh, and then my friend Mike gifted me this glass, which I think is really cool. It reminds me of a very old moving picture projector, where it would spin like carousel style, and as the pictures would move, it would kind of project through a hole onto a screen. Yeah, and I don't know how it works, but I think that was one of the earliest ones. And they didn't necessarily have to be electronic either. It could be like lit with the candle behind it, and then someone would crank it, that kind of stuff. So anyway, I love cinema. So I'm kind of a goofball for that kind of stuff, a nerd for it. Um, but yeah, I did. I got to thinking around. What would really look nice, and so I settled on these red satin napkins. And the reason why is this is a rustic table setting, and I thought that the satin would kind of give a balance. The room itself is rustic, and then so that's kind of cool. So uh, I really put a lot of thought into what I thought would be interesting and creative and fun for some people who are coming over Saturday for a game night and some charcuterie. So there'll be cheese set out and snacks and finger like a meatball kind of stuff. Just finger foods and stuff like that. Real simple kind of stuff. And then we'll sit around and watch some movies and play games. And it's really for me special because uh, it's only every so often that I'm able to get people together because people have all the schedules and everything, and it's really kind of fun. You think about the people and what might be, the particular because this isn't like it's not like where I can have like 150 people in the apartment at any given time or something like that. I don't have a yard they can go out to or anything like that. It's an apartment, so when I get people together, I try to think very carefully about people who, might get along well together, who might be, you know what I mean. It's a good match of people, and I don't mind. I don't mind that there's the occasional blend of people that one or two of them maybe have not met or have met only sporadically, but all the people that I know generally are very warm, inviting people. So I feel very comfortable in inviting people when I do that. So I think it's really important uh, when playing host or being host or whatever. I think it's very important for the people to come over to feel very comfortable. Everything that I do, especially with thinking of something like this, is specifically with uh, the comfort and the promotion of fun and the just the all around good time, for the guests. That's really what I love. When I was younger, one of the first few jobs. I mean, I had a few startup jobs. I don't think anybody keeps their first couple of jobs, and I really didn't. But when I really got serious about, okay, well, now I've got to like grow up and really, really start working and everything. It was in the service industry, and I did a lot of work in the kitchen, and I did a lot of work uh, serving as waiter. And one of the first job I had doing that, it was good. Now I'm not talking about some of the fast food gigs, but it was a job called Bugsy's Bar and Grill in New Orleans, and it was located on Convention Center Boulevard. And it was great. That taught me how to be organized and skillful. Then, after a couple of years of that, nearly a couple of years, I transferred to Emeril's Delmonico. Now, I first came to know Delmonico's of New Orleans as its own restaurant. Now, the history of this place, it actually began this franchise, its name, Delmonico, and what spawned into a couple of Delmonicos or whatever, uh, including inventing its own cut of steak, which is basically just a large fillet that's like cooked on its side or something rather than on its flat side. It's cooked on its round side or something. I don't know. It's basically this. It's basically uh, an exquisite fillet, a Delmonico. By the way, if you get a Delmonico steak, it's a fillet. Anyway, but it's just it's like really really prime slice of. It's good. It's top of the top at Delmonico, but it's basically a fillet of beef. So anyway, yeah, I have to get one more of these coffee cups. I've noticed that I've got a table setting for 8, and then I can accommodate one or two more if I need to. Actually, there's enough stuff that if the people show up, if there's a couple of extra people, that's fine too. I always make plenty. Um, but for the table setting, the traditional, the way I'm going to keep it set is set for 8, just on a regular, and there's a cup missing. One less cup. But I will just have to go to the store where I got these cups, and I will try to get it because they sell them singularly. I'll try to get them uh, to sell me another cup. If I have to, I can just buy another set of 4 or whatever. But yeah, it was cool. That was cool. Um, I love uh, I love this setup. So let me get back to the napkins. I got sidetracked on that. So the napkins, um, I ordered and I selected the red satin napkin because I thought the satin would balance the rustic look. Um, and then looking, I don't have napkin rings. So I kind of looked around and I kind of studied and I thought about, let's do a table runner fold, which basically is a fold the long way, and then you tuck kind of one side under. You maybe put it under a plate, but it's basically you can do it under the plate. In this case, because I have a dinner plate that I'm using as a charger, and then we're going to be doing small plates. So I've got the saucer and then the bowl out and stuff like that. So basically, uh, that's what we'll be doing. Uh, um, which is cool about this is because this is just the layout for the introduction, basically just charger. And a charger is like just something that you put down to indicate uh, where people will be sitting. It's kind of like okay, here's our zone, basically. Sometimes it's called a charger because it will work as the calling card of the establishment, such as Delmonico for some reason had a big, huge D and then a red rimmed plate or whatever. But anyway, um, that's kind of cool. And so basically, but there's different ways to do these. But this is it's not a very stiff napkin. If I wanted to starch it or something like that, it could fold easier. But yeah. Anyway, and then I got sidetracked. Well, I started talking, and then I sidetracked to getting over to talking about Delmonico. Started talking about the beef and blah blah blah, and worked my way back around to the satin cloths. Which, by the way, the reason why the color red, I told you about the fold because it's a casual fold of a more formal napkin, but the reason why it's a balance of to kind of bring up the rustic look of the tablecloth in the room a little bit. The room itself is rustic and eclectic, so there's no need for super formality on this setting. Just something that looks a little nice, and it's a nice little holiday coloring going on, especially with the little lament configuration. But that's out anyway. But what I was gonna like all the time, it's in the room somewhere because it's cool. So yeah, these are I think very much about stuff like this, uh, and put a lot of work into stuff like this because guests deserve it. You have your people that are like your people that are so close that they're like family, your casual people and everything, and they can come over and stuff. And then you have these like events where you get people together, and oh my God, for me, that is so special because I can only do it every 3 or 4 months. It's just that everybody, uh, has busy schedules and stuff like that, and so yeah, and it's usually a lot of work too, but it's so rewarding uh, if people can have a good time and fun and everything. So um, yeah, if people are in my circle that I do that and I invite them to, it's to me it's a honorary position in my life because I don't open myself up to everybody. It's why I make these little videos because I really just don't walk around like hello, like I'm a friendly person and everything like that, but my people that I trust or whatever, that's an honorary position, and I feel honored when people let me in their place like that, and so it's kind of cool. But anyway, that's cool. What are we doing here? We're talking about going back to talking about Delmonico. Talked about all that. Talked about the fold and the rustic and blah blah blah. Okay, cool. Back to Delmonico. So I worked at Emeril's Delmonico in New Orleans when I first encountered this restaurant. It was a decade earlier in the uh, early '90s, and it was Delmonico's. Delmonico's was a part of 3 or 4 different restaurants throughout the country. They started out I want to say, in the early part of the 20th century, may have been as late 1800s, but certainly early 1900s, whatever, in New York. And it was a very prime place in New York. And this was just an expansion, the Delmonico in New Orleans of that. But eventually, the family sold off a few of the restaurants of the Delmonico. They sold them down. There weren't that many anyway, because it was like, hey, so that it got broke up and it got sold, and um, one of the few that remained was in New Orleans on St. Charles Street, and oh my God, it was for servers down there. It was prime. Everybody wanted to work there. A few years later, it was sold, and it was rebranded as Emeril's Delmonico. Um, this is Emeril's Delmonico, and Emeril Lagasse primarily got known coming out of the Italian Cajun, because they can own this too, part of the Louisiana Purchase and everything, coming out of St. Louis, Missouri, and so which I used to not understand that. I'd see a hot sauce that was made in like Louisiana, Missouri, and I'm like, oh my God, that's not Louisiana hot sauce. But the fact is they have as much of a right along that track going forward a couple of states north of us. They have as much claim to Cajun heritage as we do in the what remains of the Louisiana state because they were part of all that. Uh, the trajectory of the Acadianas coming down through from Canada through North America to settle in Louisiana and then blend with other French culture. We get the whole like Creole French versus the actual French migration or immigration, which is someone who's like born in France. They're not Creole. Someone who is French but born outside of France is considered Creole, regardless of whatever else uh, resides in that lineage. Born in France, then you're French, and if you're of French descent and born outside of France, then you are Creole. And Cajun, the difference in Cajun as far as peoples go, are the specific uh, descendants of the people who began in Arcadiana, uh, French Arcadiana, and who migrated down through the United States and through a territory known as a huge territory known as Louisiana that was later sold as the Louisiana Purchase and then broken up into smaller United States, blah, 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 whatever. But yeah, so I only mention that for cultural significance and to say, hey, I guess some hot sauce is not made in the state of Louisiana can still claim to be Louisiana hot sauce. So, and some people, such as Emeril Lagasse, can make a claim to, being an experienced Cajun French chef, whatever, without being from the state of Louisiana. And yeah, so that's kind of cool. We haven't heard that much from him. Is he even still around? I don't know. But I got my skill up working at Bugsy's Bar and Grill as a server, and then got my etiquette going as far as like dining etiquette. Really got that going and how to present at Emeril's Delmonico. And it was kind of cool. And then after that, it was like I'd go to some other jobs maybe because it's, like I went to Florida after that and I worked at this place called, I hope they're okay, by the way. I hope they'll get through the hurricane because they're in Homestead, Florida. Hurricane Andrew country nearly destroyed that place. 10 years later is when I was there and I was working at the White Lion Cafe in Homestead, Florida. I think it's still there. It's actually, I'm sure it is, and I hope that it'll be okay after this. But because they have a hurricane, we know Milton, and that should be making landfall right now if it hasn't already. I need to check the news after this video. But yeah, and it was like, okay, that's great, but we're kind of a cafe, so the rules here change a little bit too, where it's not a fast-paced bar atmosphere, where the etiquette and stuff like that is extremely, blah. This is a cafe where the etiquette is kind of like middle of the road, and it's kind of where I found my sweet spot. So when I worked for a long time after that, I've looked for like, cafe kind of things where I can be extremely casual and because with Emeril's Delmonico, I should say, that Delmonico restaurant, everything it was like a Broadway production. Everything had a beat. It really was a production, and it was less about the food and it was more about the experience. Where like and just the measurement of the placement of everything had to be precise or else. And so with cafe, you still have that wonderful etiquette, but you lack the need to be so OCD. You can have fun, some whimsical kind of things. I would tell you something with all that OCDness, and there's no other way to describe how everything had to be so perfectly positioned and placed at the Emerald Delmonico, where it was just crazy perfection, you know. That just I haven't had that sort of training in anything since basic training when I was in the National Guard. I'd never felt so regimented in my life. Then even that I felt Emerald's Delmonico, the training there was and everything, and I was a. Oh, I'm sorry, I just bumped my finger in my nose and everything. So everything was a yeah. Oh my God, it was just you know precise. Like yeah, it was almost like a choreography. And if something was out of step, you really did some improv to fake it to get back in step. But you probably didn't make the cut the next time they were doing it. Like they were pretty unforgiving about stuff like that. It was just that. But these people, those are people who are going and paying like $700 per couple to have a tasting menu with some wines paired with it. 5 to 7 courses. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. So I learned that I can bring the etiquette with the casualness and blend those things at bistro, cafe style type places. And so that from then on, that's been my quaint favorite. Uh, you know, a little bit nicer than say coming in, sitting down, and uh, you know, putting some gruel or some, just shoveling it in your face. No, having a little bit of fun and a little bit of niceness, a little bit of something special, but uh, with the exact ability to be relaxed and casual and everything like that. So it's a good blend on that. Um, anyway, I thought really really. I didn't make a move on these table settings or what I was going to set on the table or not like that until I put everything together and pieced it out and see what looked nice. And there's even a balance. Like I said, I have to go back and get one of these cups. But so here I've got a plate. They got a little uh, cup here, and then of course uh, these little interesting stone plates that I just found. I think I found these even at a Goodwill several times, And so this is such a little casual space. There's even like my electric drums and kept a guitar or two. It'll probably be sitting around. So here we move here, and instead of the cup in the center, we had this lament configuration. And then another style of a plate, which really won't be anything on this one, but it's more like what is this of? And it's very patriotic 1776, 1976 bicentennial. I got that when I took that trip to Missouri, as a matter of fact, Parkville, Missouri, to visit my friend Rusty. I need to get back up there to see him. But I made a New Year's resolution, sort of. It's not like I really believe in resolutions, but now, did I call it a resolution? I don't quite remember, but I do remember that I made it a goal, and I set a goal to get the apartment finished, at least the front part of this finished. And I'm going to be able to make that goal because a friend of mine is going to come over and help arrange the artwork. I was going to think about putting shelves up, but here's what I thought about that. This is a long, narrow space, and I've got it accented by furnishings going along the wall on each side. So there's this room is kind of a corridor, basically, of activity where this is kind of like this is the party of it, and then people will sit all around the outside of it, basically. So that's kind of what I'm going with it. And so I've got like just this empty wall space. I was going to put shelves up, and then what I could do is I could just take the artwork up and down off the shelves and rearrange them as I wanted. But I decided, if I did that, then maybe the shelves that I was looking at, uh, you know, I don't the positioning of it and everything like that. I was like, maybe it would just. I decided I wanted the artwork itself is canvas and that's going to be out from the wall and everything. So I feel like just mounting them directly to the wall with picture hangers and things like that will, after all, be okay. And then I have some the curtains that I've ordered. Oh my God! So the room itself is wood floor, paneling. Probably it's not like 2x4s or anything like that. It's literally hardwood floor, but uh, well, I don't know if it's hardwood floor, but it's certainly wood flooring throughout the apartment, and even that way with the this is the this instead of a rug, I got this large area mat, so. Which is kind of cool because I kind of feel like it blends with that whole rustic, and so the curtains themselves are gonna look like uh, hardwood, you know, paneling uh, or whatever, but it's on a curtain fabric, and then uh, the cool thing about it is that it'll have like a guitar print and everything like that. So that's kind of cool. I got one set of that for each uh, of the windows here. I didn't get anything for this curtain, but I did get. You see how I've got um, the these little scarves draped over that divider there that I have in the corner as a something to look at, decoration, as a fixture, I should say. Lost my word there for a second. Well, so uh, I've got a couple of the gold lame kind of scarf things that I'm going to dress the top of these with, and I actually got one for the top of this. Even though I'm not doing curtains here, I'm still going to blend it, fold it into the room decor by putting a curtain up there if I find a rod for it. And I wanted to do have to get the. I can't put the curtains up until I get rods for it, and I'm kind of out of money for that right now. But give me a few weeks, and I'll be right back at it. And the reason why I'm not spending more money is because, by the way, it's going to be nice enough for the people that are coming on Saturday, but you know. Well, let me show you what the hottest ticket in town is going to be next weekend. This event, Louisiana Film Prize. Now, this is the pass for the films. There's going to be, oh my God, there's probably about 6 hours worth of short film in this film festival. And so we'll actually see, and I was like, what is this teal and what is this orange for? But this allows us to see both, and I don't know what. Anyway, yeah. But aside from that, so this is good. This is it. And so, wow, this is the biggest part of it, at least the one I hear more about. And basically, we do our Robbies, our own little awards or whatever. I don't know if the Robbies are the same prizes that they give out here. I don't know, have to check. We also have Robbies. I don't know if it's the same thing, but yeah, maybe. I don't know, but Louisiana Film Prize give out awards for the best in the field of short film. There's also Music Fest, just as much music going on, and just as many prizes being awarded and giving away on that. That's a little. Work on this fold a little more. I'm not quite over the OCD of Delmonico's, so I'm going to fold this over. Hang on one second. That's going to drive me nuts. Okay, well, that's a little better. And it doesn't have to be better. It's just that whole ruffle of that extra, that crinkle that was gnarled up where the seam was, because I didn't iron these. I took them out of the package and I put them out. So uh, you know, yeah. After I launder them, they're going to be really great. Uh, because the seams will be out and it'll be an easy fold and be able to keep them down and everything. So anyway, blah blah blah. Where was that? Oh, well, I was talking about yeah. They're doing the film. There's also going to be music where they're going to uh, vote an award. There's the area of comedy where people are going to be doing comedy, and so you get to vote for your favorite stand-up comic, and then there's food where you get to vote for your favorite culinary masterpieces, and people come from all around to do this. So, and it goes on for like, oh yeah, well I know the yeah, nearly a week really. This one's going on. The film pass is going on from the 17th to the 19th, but some of the other events maybe will begin a day or so early and a day or so after or whatever. It's really fun. This is they always have like some events that are kind of like where you're allowed to just as the general public you're allowed to kind of be a part of and step into and walk into that world. And I've done that. I've done little videos where I've kind of been there and been around it. And I'm like, oh, look, this is what they're doing. Talked about it. This is actually my first time going to uh, the film festival, and oh my god, it's going to be so much fun. With something like this, it's really fun to do, even if you know, even if you know that it's short film, and but I appreciate that. When did I get my love of short film before I even knew it? I'll tell you about it in just a moment. Oh, it was around 1981, 82, somewhere or other. I don't know. Uh, it was my third grade year, whatever. We were living in the Highland neighborhood. I did not know that it was the Highland neighborhood. I just knew that it was on Southern Avenue, and it was a duplex shotgun. Our landlady lived on the left side, and we lived on the right side. And you know, it was nice. She lived in the side that was a little bit smaller. We had like an extra room. I thought that was very generous of her, Miss Holmes. Very sweet lady. We'd probably, all would still be living there. We had neighbors that were friendly, that we've known from previous years. Betty and Bill Carrington. Don't know where they are today. Their daughter Cherie. Just don't know. I mean, and there was like a whole neighborhood. There was like one of our babysitters lived up the street. Uh, our former babysitter lived around the corner, and they turned out to be, you know, a family that for a while we had like a little neighborhood feud with. Like, oh my God, they hated us, we hated them. It was always whatever. You always have that family kind of feud thing going on. It's literally around the same block, like and then of course later on, as we grew up and we went away, moved away from each other and everything like that. Later on, I came you know back into the lives of that family, and all was okay. And then of course later on as a young adult and everything, and we just ended up drifting apart again, even. So that happens. You meet people that they're in your life for a while, and then you learn the lesson that you have to learn, and you get what you had to give, and back and forth, and then that season is over, you move on, and then there's new people that come and they fill in the population. And then occasionally there's these wonderful people, sometimes people that you're born with and you have known your entire life, and those are the special ones. So yeah, I guess as I was setting this up and I'm thinking about the guests who are going to be coming around Saturday, I feel especially honored by each one of them, and so and since this really is a nice occasion for me, because this is not something that I do uh, all the time, You know, not with the no. I mean, but I've got like a friend that'll come over or whatever, and we'll sit around and watch a movie. Yeah, casual, that kind of stuff. But as far as like actual having like an event, really getting together this kind of group of people, that's just something that it's proven to be not nearly as often as I would have liked. I would love to do it once every month, even twice a month if I could, but I can't. People just have lives, so I'll try to do it whenever I can, and always, because I do have to have like a consideration for the space that's in this apartment. There's a lot of places to sit and everything like that. Um, and we'll come back here. Look, I'm going to give you the space, the layout of the room, and you come in here and like, you know, I've even got some the stools here, you know, but yeah. So there's plenty of space in this room. It's a nice room. I'll probably end up eventually moving that chair over the holidays into another room and putting a tree up if I decide to put a tree up this year. But if not, maybe I'll just leave the chair there and use a smaller tree or those. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to celebrate the excitement, basically, because by the weekend, I will at least have the artwork up, and I'm thinking of going something rustic. I'm thinking if I could get just some brackets, then I could get a couple of large branches and use them because I've saw that treatment somewhere and I forget where. You know where I did see it? Ha 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 ha. Who says horror movies are full of trash? The original Friday the 13th, the cabins. They had like wooden branches that they used as rustic curtain rods in their little cabins, and that would be so perfect for this room and work with basically the you know wood and paneling, the faux paneling and wood floor, real wood by the way on the floor motif, and the textures. It would work with that. So I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna look through that uh, and see. I'll try to do something creative, but if I could find something, hmm, yeah. I don't know. Now I've got and plus it's sort of creative and a little bit artistic. Um, Sometimes I wonder and I shouldn't say this, but some of the most artistic people tend to be autistic or on that scale or whatever. So I don't know. uh, so I was like, oh my god, I think it's funny that those two words sound kind of alike. They're kind of homonyms. They don't mean the same thing, but they kind of sound the same. Uh, but yeah, no, it's the most creative minds are the ones who, whether it's autistic or not, the ones that can go inside of themselves and look around and walk around their own minds for a little bit tend to be somewhat creative, a little bit more creative than those people who just, you know, I don't know, can't look within, you know. All in all, it's a good life. It's been wonderful. Love and light, everybody. Peace. Good night.